going to be in the book of Luke for a little bit today. Not very much, but we're going to go over something that maybe people forget about in chapter 11 today. And of course, we can do a few stories and stuff too. No singing tonight. Well, afternoon. It's still light outside a little bit. I've got the light on above me, so we're going to feel like I've got, I think, God's light above me. That's going to calm down as we go along, as it gets darker outside. It's nice. I know that I'll probably have a few people popping in pretty soon. It's been a pretty good day. I blessed a couple kids this morning. Did not take a walk this afternoon. Ended up kind of like just relaxing, took a little nap, got a bath. I just call them a bath here because we don't have a shower that works. So you're going to dump water over yourself and do the whole thing. So it's kind of the way it works. But yeah, it's beautiful outside. Really in a dry period right now. So I guess it's the dry season right now because they've been having some fires not too far from here. So I got a chance to go into a bunch of different ones today. I got to go into Sammy's for just a short while, and I got to go into JD for a long time. It was nice to see JD back from her trip, so that was a good thing. We just a lot of different things going on. Maybe going to go over a little bit of my Africa trip. Thank you for the like, whoever came in. It's we might go over some of the prep that I did to go to Africa. Hey, who we got here? Hey there, Mike and Venus. Nice to see you. Yeah, I just popped on. Love to see you guys. I like your live too when you're on. It's very informative. Today, I'm going to do a little bit about, in Luke 11, 9 and 10, a little bit about, do we ask God for something? A lot of times we just pray to God that we want it, but did we actually ask for it? And I've had some things that I asked for back in 2015 to 16, and guess what? A couple years later, they came through. It doesn't always work that way, but it lined up where all of a sudden I was able to go to Africa and go on a mission trip. I was able to visit Philippines in 2017. Even though we thought we didn't have the money, we found a way. All of a sudden, God made a way. And it was not as expensive as we thought because God gave us favor. And we maybe a good time that we picked too. So some things in the natural too. But yeah, yesterday was fun. Doing the surprise for Rose was nice. And of course, I'll always take questions on Philippines. Of course, Mike and Venus know even more than I do, especially when it comes to expat stuff. But as far as adapting to Philippines, I've got some pretty neat little tricks too. I think everybody has a different way because everybody's personality is different. So my personality is, I'm going to be in here for a while. I'll be out in a bit. Somebody was opening the door, I think. Everybody approaches Philippines a little different. I met my wife in America, so it's a little different feel than bringing her over on a fiance visa. I did get familiar with the fiance visa, though, because I helped matchmake somebody back in 2015, and so I had to help her through the fiance visa when she was in Manila, through a lot of messages and different things and trying to help her get through that. So I do have a little bit of idea of that. And it's the one time where matchmaking actually worked. They're still together 11 years later, and they're doing great. So, blind squirrel can find a nut once in a while. But yeah, things are going great. Today has just been a beautiful day, and yesterday went really well. And so I don't know why, but it just seems like today has been a really smooth day. And you get a lot of those in Philippines. Retired, so I'm pretty much working on my channel and helping my wife out when I need to, and that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, it's lovely. I'm so glad that you guys dropped in. I haven't done any more ocean videos yet, but I might tomorrow. We'll see what the weather's like. I think we're going in town, but I don't know if that's until Thursday or Friday. We'll see. Well, I'll work it out. The ocean videos are popular. I guess when you're getting snow and it's 0 degrees outside, people like seeing the ocean. Hey, how you doing? Anywhere, anytime. Hey, thank you for coming in. Yeah, we're just kind of getting started. And, it's thank you so much. Yep, and I love Africa too. We're definitely going to have some talk about that in the future. I'm glad that you're doing good. Yeah, we were going to talk about Africa a little bit today. Just the stuff that I had to do to get ready to go to Africa. I had a lot going on at that time. Hey, Shamrock, how you doing? Oh my gosh, what is it in? Let's see, maybe it ain't that early in the morning for Shamrock. I'm not sure. Awesome. Love to see Shamrock. The one thing that we were going to talk about, Shamrock, is we're going to talk a little bit about the prep I had to do to go to Africa. And we're also going to talk about Luke 11, 9, and 10. And that's pretty much, I'll read it here in a few minutes. It's about, do we ask God for things? And I know if you don't really talk to God or pray, or you don't hear from God at all, that's okay. You can still hear it. It's totally up to you on that. It's totally a free will choice. So, but hey, we got all kinds of people coming in. That is fantastic. Yeah. Welcome, Lotsie. I'd love to see you. Fantastic. Mike and Venus in here, and it's just awesome. That's why you go around to other channels. You need to go and see how people do other channels. They don't mean that you copy them. You pick up little tips, plus they know who you are, so that when you go live, they may pop into yours. See? It kind of goes that way. It doesn't always guarantee right away, but after a while it does. Yeah, it's all beautiful. Yes, I'm getting better at it. I'm getting more comfortable with it. I don't stress about it now, but yes, I'm definitely pretty early yet. Don't forget to like and subscribe. I have not done that many live streams. So the highest on likes I've gotten is 8. I'm sure we can beat that today. We're doing much better already. So it's so lovely to see everybody coming in. We got some more people coming. I get close. Indian, thank you for coming on in. And I just have to get close on my phone a little bit. I may find the settings on that to get it a little bit bigger. Well, this is very short, it's just a couple verses. But Jesus is saying these words. He says, "And I say unto you, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and it shall be opened upon you. For everyone that asketh receiveth, and he that seeketh findeth, and to him that knock it shall be opened." But he doesn't say how fast it opens. And this is the thing we're going to talk about with Africa, because I was told by my mom when I was a teenager that I was going to travel the world. And it didn't happen right away. Matter of fact, for a while I thought it would never happen. I just thought my mom was crazy. But it ended up opening up later on. Wow. Thank you for the people that are checking me out and coming in. Thank you for everybody that is, Jesus said those words, and he doesn't give the timing, but if you get prepared for something, then it happens. And what happened in 2018, in the May of 2018, I'm not cooking anything. In the background, I am in the spare bedroom, and I've got the light on because it's going to get dark outside. And when it gets dark outside, I need to have a light in here, or else you're going to be seeing a ghost. Because with my white skin, I'll turn into a ghost. No, I'm not in the kitchen. I do have leftovers. You want to have some leftover Filipino spaghetti? We could do that. You just have to pop over here. That's all. Elon Musk might have already invented popping through the phone. Who knows? But back in May of 2018, we come to find out there was people from Africa watching our live stream at the church. That's when live streams were just getting going. And they were watching on their computer, and they wanted to get covering under the church we were at in Missouri, Springfield, Missouri. And so I knew something was brewing. And then later that year, in November, it became official that we might go to Africa with 4 people. For the first time, that church sending anybody to Africa. But God was good. He gave us advice on different people to check with to make it happen. Thank you for everybody that's coming in. You can come in, drift out. We're not going to be talking about God the whole time. We're going to talk a lot about prep going to Africa, kind of personal stories. You can give me anything in the chat, and I will definitely answer it if I can. Yeah, that's fine, Lotsky. You can come and go as you please. You go and get your dinner, and you can bring some new people in. That's fine. Hi there, Craig. It's nice to have you. Yeah. Hi, Shamrock. Yeah, Shamrock, you haven't heard this story at all. And we can't do all of Africa today. Well, yeah, my battery would last 3 hours maybe, but I don't think we're going to do that. We may mix it up a little bit. Somebody might put something in the chat that changes the topic for a little bit. So I knew in November of 2018 that I'm probably going to go to Africa. I really wanted to go, and I still was healthy enough to go. And it was not going to be until later September of 2019. And the pandemic hadn't started yet, so that was not an issue. And I had to think. I went to my wife and says, I'm thinking about going to Africa. And my wife says, well, you're not doing it on our budget because our budget was pretty tight. So you're going to have to find a way to raise the money to go to Africa. Well, you can put in the chat what your talents are or some of things, or just mention one thing that you have that's a talent. Well, something that my grandma taught me way back when I was 14 is how to bake. I know how to bake cookies, brownies, cake, sometimes banana bread, things like that. Not very good at bread, but I can learn. Matter of fact, God has given me somebody in the Philippines that does bread very good. So guess what? He'll probably teach me. But yes, your main talent is customer service. Wow. Well, you know what? That means you don't get mad very easily, because if you're in customer service, I never did it, but some of my friends in Springfield, Missouri have done it, and it drives them crazy. So I don't know. That's a talent that is definitely special. I don't get mad easily, but I just don't think I wanted to do that. It was just one of those things where I wanted to be outside. I didn't want to be in a cubicle. But of course, customer service can be in places where it's more open too. So I don't know where you work, Shamrock. So I hope it's in a more open space. That makes it much easier. But yeah, so I had to start formulating what I'm going to do. Well, I already named it Cookies for Africa. I knew that part made sense. So I had that. But I wasn't going to start it until the beginning of March. But I had to plan on how I was going to do it. Yes, open space is better. In a cubicle with customer service on a computer with an earpiece in, and you're arguing with somebody and or screaming and yelling about their credit card or something. Well, hey, somebody's got to do it. I guess AI is taking a lot of that over now. Maybe not in Ireland, but in America and some of the other call centers, that's disappearing. But that makes it so AI never gets mad, I guess. Hopefully, I don't think any AI could look quite like this. Do you think? I don't know. Kind of look a little weird, don't I? I don't exactly look like AI, so you don't have to worry. This is not AI. This is a 64-year-old guy. Used to have wavy blonde hair, but that's long gone. So, hey, Shamrock, wouldn't that be cool if I could clone myself? And while my wife is yelling at me, I put the clone in the kitchen, and I go out and I go take a nice walk, and the AI can just sit there and argue with her while I just go and do my thing. That would be so funny. Problem is, then my wife would do the same thing with her, so it wouldn't make sense. But yeah, hey, how you doing? Oh wow, nice. I got to make sure who I got coming in. Yeah, Mike. Yeah, you used to have long blonde hair too. Believe it or not, when I was 13, I had blonde hair halfway down my back. In the 70s, long hair as a teenager was in. So then my mom made me cut it because she didn't want to go through shampoo like I was going through, but it was fun. Yeah. Well, yeah, I might forget which one the clone is and get rid of the wrong person. That would suck. Yeah, that wouldn't be any good. Yeah, I got to bring it closer a minute because for some reason, oh yeah, Leah. Oh, wow, cool. Fantastic. That's awesome. I'm glad you were able to come in. Sometimes I have trouble seeing the screen as good as I'd like to. I normally do. My glasses are great, but yeah, it's long hair in the 70s was a big thing for men. It wasn't a big deal. Unless you were in corporate, it was not a big deal. Yeah, but I had to figure out how I was going to do the cookies. And I hadn't baked a lot of cookies in a while. I had done some for Christmas, but I hadn't done a lot. Well, Shamrock, that's a good thing. It means that even though you just like to eat pizza, toast, eggs, and things like that, and which is kind of the basic, thing I did back in the 30s to some degree. I liked. I was in America, so I could do fast food. I could do a lot of things back in the 90s that I probably shouldn't have done. I was pretty heavy back then. Yeah, and they weren't talking about clones just yet back then either. But yeah, I've got my Jesus shirt on today. And whether you believe or not, that's not an issue, okay? It's okay. But I will mention Jesus once in a while because he's been good to me. That doesn't mean, everybody's got their own thing. Free will. We don't judge anybody in this channel. Thank you for everybody that's coming in. I don't always trust the number that YouTube says, but if he says there's 6 in here, that's awesome. And I know some people don't want to comment. That's fine. We're kind of talking about Africa. I went to Africa in September of 2019. Well, also my wife was going after her citizenship in America at the same time. And she, the dual citizenship thing. So because she had worked in America for quite a while, and she had been there long enough to apply for citizenship. So we had all kinds of things going on in early 2019. Well, I didn't have any business cards, but I started getting my ingredients together and started to get some recipes together because I only had a chocolate chip recipe and a chocolate butterscotch recipe. I did not have a bunch of cookie recipes lined up. I knew I could use the chocolate chip recipe and tweak it for a few other things, but I had to learn how to do peanut butter cookies. I had to learn how to do snickerdoodle cookies. I had to learn how to do, there were some people that wanted cranberry cookies of all things, and I came up with a recipe that worked. I had, in America, they like a lot of weird types of cookies. Some people like just sugar cookies. So I had to come up with all that in a couple months' time. And then I started selling in March 3rd of 2019. And I had to come up with $2,000 by about July. I needed $2,000 by then just to pay for the airline ticket, because the ticket was not just from Springfield to Africa. We had to fly. Once we were in Africa, we had to do Kenya to Malawi, Malawi to Zambia, Zambia back to Kenya, and then Kenya back to Switzerland, then Switzerland back home, because we were doing 24 days through 3 countries back and forth. So the trip was, that ticket ended up maybe being more than $2,000. So it was, and that was quite a bit back in 2019. We're in 2026, so it's been 6.5 years at least since I went. And yeah, so we're not going to talk about the selling of cookies much, but I will tell you some of the things I went through. Now, the cookies from March until we left in September, there was all kinds of interesting stories that must have been God. Because the very first pan of brownies I sold, the lady didn't want anything other than the pan of brownies, which was normally $6. She gave me $100. And then I had that happen 2 or 3 times. And then I had people that ordered 2 dozen cookies and gave me $50, whereas normally the cookies were like $3 a dozen. So people were giving me extra money, and it just started building up. And then I had, oh, thank you. Wow. Yeah, I had 17 at one time. Yeah, and the likes, we only need 3 more likes and it'll be the most I've had. But yeah, I welcome everybody here. Yes, sub if you can. I'm just getting this channel started. We're going to keep it positive. If we do have any negativity, I'll just try to answer the question, and we'll try to do it in a positive way. This is going to be a little different than a lot of the Filipino channels where they can just kind of show up and do their thing. I'm going to talk, but I'm also going to look at the comments. And I'm getting better at that. I've really tried to focus. I've noticed a lot of people that check the comments and go back and forth with the people. They have a tendency to come back. Even if they leave for a while, they'll come back. And I want to do that. I don't want to be the person where people are commenting and I never say a thing to anybody in the comments. Because by you coming in, it helps me. And so I want to be able to help you in some way too. Yeah. Thank you for kind of helping me, Mike. That's awesome. And your wife. It's a really beautiful thing. I've been married for 21 years. And but with the cookies, things all worked out where, yeah. Well, I hope so. I know one thing. We're going to use this channel to help others, okay? I already help others with my allowance and other things, but in my views, I'll talk to it on live. I really can't do it in the comments on other channels because YouTube don't like that. But about a little over a week ago, I was at 11,000 views. Now I'm at almost 23,000 views. So my views are really taking off on my videos. So I'm going to definitely keep doing my water ocean videos, especially are very popular right now. People in the United States, Indonesia, other places are really looking at those. But I'm be doing a live every day. Now I chose to be a little later today. I kind of like this time anyway, before dinner time. Yeah, I got 23,000 views in 3 weeks. And I didn't have all the videos on then. I'm up to 76 videos, but it took me 3 weeks to do those 76 videos. I only had like 10 videos at first. Yeah, so, and we're going to try to have some Christian stuff. Believe it or not, I'm going to sing, but not today. But I got to do that in the living room. But I got a couple songs I'm working on. I'm going to practice those tomorrow, and maybe we'll sing a couple Christian songs tomorrow. Might come on in the morning once in a while. That may affect the people that are here, but maybe Mike and Venus and a few others that are in the Philippines or that are in America can pop on. Whereas right now it's very early in America, unless they're going working third shift or something. They're probably not awake. And as cold as it is there, it'd be bad. Yeah. Yep. What we got here? Yeah, I felt bad. Oh, what we got here? What we got? Yeah. You feel bad, bro? Well, let's definitely we'll make sure. That's something else I want to do too. If you need prayer for something, we'll do that towards the end of the live stream. Or if you need it right away and you got to leave, I'll do a prayer for you right away. Um, but the yes, things are just awesome. I ended up doing the cookies all the way until about 2 weeks before I came to Philippines in August. Well, late July. So, can anybody, just for fun? I did 5,000 batches of cookies. I'm not going to tell you how many brownies or cakes I did. Well, I use eggs for all those. Can you figure out? I have to do a little math in my head too. I kind of know what it is. But can you figure out how many eggs I actually used for everything I baked over those 6 some years? Now I'm going to calculate it in my head, and if you come close, that's going to be cool. Maybe I'll figure out something in the future for you on that. But you got to figure out how many eggs I used for the cookies, brownies, and cakes that I made for over 6 years raising money for Africa. I'm going to take a second and I'm going to calculate it in my head without talking. Okay, I got a number in my head. It's within 500 of what it really was. I can't get exact. No, I don't think it's that many. But I'll tell you one thing. I would have raised a lot more money for Africa at 400,000. That's a lot of eggs. But I love it because thinking big. But we got to go a little lower than that. Yeah, to give you an idea, every batch of cookies is 2 eggs. So we got to go a little lower, but it's fine. Guess any number you want. We'll have fun with it. But yeah, it's a lot of eggs, but it's not that many. I will give you a hint. Let's try more in that neighborhood of about something just below, somewhere below 50,000. I know it sounds like not very many eggs, but that's a lot of eggs when it comes to cookies. Yeah, 10,000 is a little low. But I went through 10,000. I know exactly about the time I went through 10,000. I think I went through 10,000 eggs somewhere around early 2020 when the pandemic hit. So, yeah. And that kind of hurt my cookie sales for a while, too, by the way. But that's okay. They picked back up when everything opened back up. My cookie sales took off again. But, yeah, 10,000 is a little low. I see that in a few minutes I'll give you the number. But yeah, I wish it was 400,000. Oh my gosh, that's a lot of eggs. I love it though. I worked for an egg facility for 2.5 years before I retired. And boy, they processed 2 million eggs in an 8-hour period, close to it anyway, through those machines. So it's crazy how many eggs they would process. Clean them, X-ray them, check for cracks, everything else, and then get them packaged all within 8 to 10 hours. Get 1 million eggs pounded through, unless the machines didn't work right, then it would be less. But since there isn't anybody putting any other number in right now, I'm gonna say, I'll tell you, it's about 40,000 eggs. So close to 40,000 eggs. It probably would have been higher than that if I was still selling them in America. I don't sell cookies here because I don't have a propane oven. Electrical ovens are way too expensive here. Not the ovens, the electricity. If I was to bake cookies here, the electric bill would go through the roof here. People that bake bread and everything else use propane, much cheaper. So I have to get a propane oven to raise any money for Philippines or stuff. So I'm going to use this channel to raise money, and it don't cost me anything other than just paying for my phone bill, which I do every month anyway. So, and this phone is fairly new, so it should last for a few years, and I don't have to worry about it. Yeah, and so, getting ready for Africa, I had one story that was really cool. I had a friend, Jason. I won't give his last name. He's in Springfield, Missouri. And I was giving him a ride to work. Oh, Who do we have coming in right now? I can see. Hey, Reza, how you doing? Lovely to see you. I love that I can just move my phone, see it real good, and then I can see the comments just fine. Some of the names get kind of small sometimes, but my eyes are working fine. I just due for an eye appointment. But yeah, thank you for coming in. We're doing some positive stories right now, but if you don't ask God for something, if you do believe in God or you don't, some people pray and they don't even believe in God. They think there might be a God. God changed my life 20 years ago. And I had to learn, of course. I had to go through a process. But then he opened up doors for things later on when I was able to do stuff. And so it was really awesome. And I didn't even notice that I left my Band-Aid off on my finger. I smashed it back about 5 days ago, and it's healing fine. So it's just amazing if you ask. I asked God, and my mom knew, even though she wasn't really a Christian. She did Christian value raising of us, but it just worked out where I got to do things that most people didn't. I got picked to be on the board of our church, and I won't give the year, but it was back a while back, and I was on that board for so long that I got a chance to go on a trip to the Bahamas. So, I even got to go to the Bahamas. And I'd been to the Caribbean back in 1997. I went to the Eastern Caribbean on a Carnival cruise. So I've been on 2 cruises in my life. And I was single then. I just went for the sake of doing it. Do something different. Get away from the winter. If you don't ask God, he may still give it to you. But I found out that when I really ask God in prayer, or whatever way I do it, walking or whatever, it seems to come. And you step away for a little bit. That's fine. If you want to come back in a while, I'll be on for easily another half hour to an hour. It just depends on how the live is flowing. I'm just thankful that you came in. People can come in and out as they please. It's all good. Then, of course, when it came to the Africa stuff, in the summer, I had a story where Jason, his parents, had pretty successful couple. His parents were. They were separate. They had 2 different. They had split up during his teenage years, but his father and his other wife that he had now had extra money in their account. And they asked Jason, he says, out of the 4 people that are going to Africa, who's working the hardest to go? Well, because the pastor had somebody that sponsored him, all his money was paid for, and he didn't have to work for that. His hard work was planning the trip and getting with people that could plan the trip. And by Jason's father, what he meant by hard work is, do they have to really work hard to get to go? And then, of course, Brittany, which was the pastor's daughter, she had somebody sponsoring her. And then Ken, Joseph, had a really high-paying job. And so he's from Kenya, but he was living in Springfield. So he kind of could do it by working overtime. So Jason said David is the one that's working the hardest to go because he can't use much money out of his budget. And so they ordered 2 dozen cookies, and I figured, cool, I'll get $6, $8. And they gave me a check for $300. So I didn't know that was going to happen. I knew it was going to be more than $8 because, they're not going to tell Jason that, Jason tell me, and it's going to be a small amount of money. But I didn't know what it was. They gave me a check, folded up. They left before I opened the check, and it was $300. And it really helped. That was the last little bit of money I needed to get the airline ticket. So it was really awesome, And so God made a way where that trip just came together. Now, in hindsight, when you go to Africa, you got to pay for a visa to come into Kenya. Now, you can do it where you can get a repeating visa, from flying back and forth into Kenya. We forgot to do that. So we had to pay for a visa coming into Kenya, had to pay for a visa going to Malawi, we had to pay a visa to go into Zambia, then I had to pay a visa to come back into Kenya, and it burned through all my spending money. So I learned next time, now, if this YouTube channel, when it takes off and it really gets going, and I start getting monetized and I can help others, there's going to be a certain percentage, it might be 10%, might be 15%, that's going to go towards a travel fund. A lot of it's going to go towards helping others. Between tithe and everything, probably at least 50% is going to go towards helping others in the Philippines. So there's going to be a lot of different things. I got something with the church that they feed kids. I also got a couple other contacts that I'm going to check into. But for right now, I'm not monetized, so we're just doing prep work on that right now. But yeah, if you ever have something on a topic or a question, you're always welcome to put it in the comments. I will always see it. I'm pretty close to my phone. I do have a microphone in the living room, so if I do sing, I might use a microphone, but I've got a loud voice. So I think it comes through just fine. I'm going to look through my settings and figure out how to do a moderator, but I don't really need that right now. I think a lot of the trolls are not going to come in here, but there might be a few. And if there is, I'll click on it or I'll get somebody. I'm a moderator in a lot of rooms. I just don't know how they add me to a moderator, so I'll figure that out. I'm sure it's in my settings there, in my drop down. I just haven't looked at it. Or maybe I just press on the name and the contact and that option comes up. I just have to figure that out yet. But I love all of you, you know. And the Africa trip, we're not going to go through the actual Africa trip because I want to do that in segments in the future. But it went really well. It was 24 days out of a suitcase. But we helped a lot of kids. And no, we didn't go on a safari. It would have been nice. We did get to do one thing though, later in the trip. And that's just one story. It's not going to be much about what the trip was about. We went through the Serengeti a little bit, going towards Western Kenya to Lake Victoria, and then over into Bungoma, Kenya, over close to Uganda. We went through some of the Serengeti. Mostly what you see near the road is zebras, monkeys, about 3 different types of monkeys. They're not scared of cars. You're not going to, now we did see a couple elephants off in the distance, but the elephants, the lions, and things of that nature are way out deep into the Serengeti. They're not going to be near the road. They don't like, there's fences along the road, but they don't like any of that. They like to be away from the noise. And unless they have a water issue, the elephants will go where the water is. And then, of course, that's where the hippos are too. So, but yeah, got to see some African animals when we were heading that way to do some evangelizing. And we also see miracles and everything else, especially in Malawi. People's eyes opened, ears opened, cataracts removed. I seen cataracts come off an old man within like 20 minutes. It was just crazy how you could see his eyeballs again, and he could finally see. He was totally blind. So, you know, they don't have money for that stuff, for surgeries and stuff. But yeah, things are going good here. It's been almost 6 months here in Philippines. We have a house, so that makes it better. That's fine. Yeah, it's good. Right now, I just appreciate everybody's coming in and liking, subscribing. You know, we're going to make this a positive channel. We're going to do some Bible study sometimes for maybe 20 minutes. Other times, we're going to be talking about personal experiences. I'm going to be talking about stuff that ends up being in the chat, you know, occasionally too. And sometimes I will sing. And we may have a few other things that come along too. I heard that Sammy, Self-Care Diaries, wants to do a deal where we have both of us going at the same time. We'll probably do some of that in the future. You know, I've seen a couple lives that way already. And it's just a blessing, you know. And I'm going to keep checking out other people's channels and stopping in. I've had a couple Filipino channels that said they've already stopped in and checked out my live before, and I'm very thankful for that. And we're not going to, there's nothing special about me, but I like to talk. I like to interact with people. I like doing that here on the streets. I take, today I only took one walk, but normally I take 2 walks a day. And there's all kinds of people that love just seeing me, interacting with me, and the kids, of course, love me. Some of that's due to the fact that I'm American, but there's 4 or 5 of them that really maybe don't have a father or mentor in their life, and they are asking me stuff in English, not in Bisaya. So they know enough English to communicate in English. I do know a little Bisaya, but not much. I'm learning. Between Google and just listening to people speak, I'm learning. But yeah, I went through a lot of cookies, made a lot of cookies. I raised, when I did the cookies, I didn't tell you this, I take my costs up. I go and buy the ingredients. So I'm not going to give money, all of it, and not pay for my costs. So I paid for my costs, and then the profit of the cookies, which was right around 50%. Sometimes the brownies were 70%, and I was only charging $6 a pan. I could make the pan of brownies for $2. So I was making money that way too. I sold a lot of brownies at Vital Farms when I was at the egg facility the last 2.5 years. And so, yeah, I gave altogether to Africa probably, I easily $15,000 maybe over 6 years. A lot of work. I don't know how many. I just had an apartment. We just had a 2-bedroom apartment, and the kitchen was moderate size at best. And I wore out 2 stove elements. It was an electric stove, and we wore out a couple elements. But since I was renting, they had to come and replace them. So they didn't care. They knew I was raising money. But I wore out a couple stove elements on that. But yeah, God opened up doors that way. I've had a chance to see the Caribbean. I've been in Canada a little bit because I live near Canada. I was born in Michigan, Grand Rapids, Michigan, actually. And I have family in Michigan in 2 or 3 different spots. I have family. My dad is still alive. My mom passed almost 5 years ago. It'll be 5 years in June. She was 82. I had her for a long time, so I can't complain. My dad's had diabetes for a long time, but he's 87. So all I have to do is just take my insulin. I don't have to take a lot, but a little bit, and just kind of try to get more to the meat and veggies and stay away from some of my other stuff a little bit, and I'm fine. And the Philippines has got a lot more natural food too. The chicken's more natural. Even French fries here only have 2 ingredients, 2 or 3 ingredients, whereas in America there's 14 ingredients in French fries. And who knows what that stuff's doing to you, And it did it to me. Kind of ruined my body. The food in America kind of ruined me. But I'm still here. I'm still doing pretty good, and warm weather is really treating my body good. So I'm thankful for that. But yeah, it's been really nice. I'm really thankful for everybody that's been in here. I'm glad Shamrock was able to stop by. It's so nice seeing Mike and Venus. And of course, anybody else that came in, I appreciate you. If you have any comments, if there's a few people still in here, just leave a comment, and whatever we'll do. But if I don't get comments in the next 10 minutes, then I may end the live. But I'm going to be doing a live Monday through Saturdays, almost always in the afternoon. I may do a couple evening ones because it seems to work. But the problem is when it gets dark outside, this light gets pretty bright. But thankfully, my body is kind of below the light, so you can still see me talk. So it works. I may have to just change my location a little bit, that's all. But I can also do the living room, especially if it's in the afternoon. My wife could come in here, or whatever. So I'm not saying anything on the live that's that controversial. But I give my life experiences. I've gone through a lot. I'm not just going to Africa, but I've done 17 years at Eagle Heights Worship Center. Did some stuff there. Did a lot of volunteering. I'm trying to get volunteer for the Assembly of God De La Puga Church. I did help somebody paint the pew benches, but they don't really have too many people volunteer there except for their young people. So I'm still trying to get worked in. I'm going to try to get involved in the feeding program. They feed 150 kids once a month or once every other month. I want to get that to the point where we can do that every 2 weeks, feed some kids. Even if it's only 100 kids instead of 150, they say to feed 150 kids costs about 10,000 pesos. Well, 10,000 pesos here is about 160, 170 bucks American. Well, build this channel and get some more. I keep doing my short videos and keep putting content on that way, and then do lives. And my watch hours on my videos has been crazy. I think because of the cold weather in America and different things, people that are not near the ocean, even Filipinos that aren't near the ocean, have been watching my ocean videos. And I do little topics. Sometimes I won't talk. I'll just let the ocean make its noise. And of course, I do something for my daughter occasionally too. But I got access to the ocean. It's probably 2 kilometers from here, maybe a little over 2 kilometer walk, maybe less. I haven't measured it. It don't take me that long. It's just right past where our Assembly of God church is. There's a little road that goes right down to the beach. And it's not a resort area, so it's can be trash at times. But I don't show that in the videos much. I did it first, but then I get a bunch of comments. Oh, why is there trash at the ocean? Well, it is the Philippines, and some of the Filipino people are a little trashy. They throw stuff around. There's not the infrastructure here to pick up trash. We've had trash sitting outside, tied off in rice bags. They were supposed to pick it up already, but sometimes it takes 4 weeks for them to pick up the trash here. So it can take a while. I haven't looked out there late this afternoon, but the truck that's going around picking up trash, I seen them this morning. I don't think they picked ours up yet. And so some of that is from New Year's. And it's the 27th of January. So it'll probably disappear by the end of the month. But thankfully, the trash that we put out there is not that stinky. A lot of it is cardboard, plastic, and non-food type trash. More plastic trash and packaging trash. So it's not as stinky. So that's good. Things here in the Philippines, all the houses are close together here. And of course, you're going to have roosters and dogs. The roosters make the most noise, so that takes a while to get used to. They make noise off and on all day long, but not too much in the afternoon. But most of the time, they'll make noise at night if you stir them up. But they'll start making noise at about 4 in the morning. They really get going at 5 in the morning, because between 5 and 5:45, it starts getting light. And then it gets dark at 6 o'clock. Right now, it's almost dark outside. If you're not in the Philippines, you won't know, but it's almost dark. And I don't think it's 6 o'clock yet. It might be right around 6 o'clock. Maybe not quite. When I'm in live, I can't see the time on my phone. I can just see how long I've been live. We haven't had too many comments lately, and that's okay. This is good practice for me too, because this is my 5th live, and it's going to give me a chance to kind of check settings and different things too. But if you believe in God, don't forget to ask Him. We had Prophetess Brenda at our church in Springfield, Missouri says, "Get off your ask." Now, it's really supposed to be the other word, but she goes ask because a lot of people are scared to ask for anything. Like, if I get involved in the feeding program, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to start contacting some of these places that we're buying food from to see if we can't get a discount. Even if it's 10 or 15%, it'll make us be able to feed more kids. And some of these stores in Philippines are like the old days in the 60s in America, where if you ask for a discount, even if you're not a senior, I'm a senior, so I can get a discount that way too. But if you're doing something to feed Filipino kids, these managers of these stores are Filipino people. And they go, oh my gosh, you're feeding people? Okay, we can knock 8% off or something. We can knock something off to make you feed more kids. They'll do it. As long as it don't put them bankrupt or anything, they will take money off. And I'm sure that the pastors have got some kind of sweet deal with somebody. I'm not quite sure who they're with right now. I'll find out as I start volunteering for that. But I love all you guys, and you guys have a great day. Like and subscribe. Go into other people's channels and like and subscribe. I've been subscribing to people that are commenting, especially if I'm a moderator, because that way I can talk to them. And then they come into some of the people that came into my chat today, they knew I'm doing lives now. They found out. So they're going to pop in once in a while. So I love all you guys. You have a great day. And I'll be going live soon, tomorrow. I'll be doing a live tomorrow. As long as I don't go in town, we'll be doing a live. So I love all of you. You have a great day. And if you have any questions or anything, leave comments on my page, on videos, and I'll give you an answer back. Any kind of comment that you or question, I can answer it through my comments on any of my videos. I got 76 videos. Comment on one of them, I'll get a notification, and I'll answer you back. So I love you all, and you have a great night in Philippines. And if you're in America, you have a great day coming up, because it's like on the East Coast, it's like 5 in the morning, and it's 4 in the morning in Missouri. So I love you all. You have a great time, and we'll talk soon. Love you all.